Hello, hello. Hi, Sanders. Hello, the Ace Fangirl. Oh no, can you hear me now? Hello, hi, Amanda. Happy book club. Happy book club. How's the Wednesday going? Hello, thank you, thank you. Hello, welcome, welcome. Hi, Ray. Hi, Curious Caddy. Hello, all. It is time to bridge the divide. We are going from, oh, that's fun. We're going from our circle of magic to Tortall. Hello. Oh, thank you, thank you. Hi, Autumn. Hello, all. We're doing a minute or two. As you can tell, this is not my setup that I filmed and shared. It's not the spider setup. It's not the setup that I ended up filming, my temporary one. There were some last minute cat sitting needs, and so I had to pack everything up and sprint to a new location and set it all up and try to figure out the tech. So we're hoping it all works. Hello, welcome all. So just to catch everybody up, if you are not in the know of what we're doing right now, we are alternating between our reading one book and having 1 week to talk about a topic. And this week we are going from our Circle of Magic into Tortall. We're going to start a chronological read through of all of the Tortall books. And we're going to start with Terrier. I'll pull it out here soon and then all can come down. Hey y'all, oh thank you for all these gifts. I so appreciate you all being here. I love book club. Wednesdays are the best part of my week. I started to map out book club and what it'll look like. I was trying to get it so we weren't reading Alana's books over the holidays, and trying to give ourselves more time to get through Becca's books just because they're so big. And I don't have an official calendar yet, but it looks like we will be able to have Tamora Pierce Book Club at least in through next July. So I hope you will all stick with me as we push through, and it is going to take us months to get through all of the Tortall books, and I'm so excited for all of that. I cannot wait. So I hope you will stick with me. Immortal Book Club, yes. And then we'll find another book to read. We've already talked about a couple of different options for what we'll do in book club. Maybe we'll even just start back again. I'm realizing the further away I get from the Circle of Magic books, the more I'm realizing that I need to just reread them again. Thank you all for these gifts. They're so much fun. Hi all, welcome. So yes, today we're just going to do a little bit of a wrap up for Circle of Magic and introduce Tortall. We're going to talk about, I thought magic would be a good topic. We've talked about it a little bit in a lot of the different lives that we've done, but just, it's such a good topic that spans both of the realms. And so it'll be exciting. Oh, you'll be in Canada? Oh, yay. Fantastic. We'll hope you'll join. Hello, Aubrey. Welcome. Hey, all. I'm so excited for this. We have so much content to go through. There's so much to talk about, and I am trying to work through the technology piece, and so we can have the chat. I can upload these actually to YouTube and have them not just be an hour and a half of me rambling with no context. And we'll figure it out. And so I think tomorrow I'm going to keep this set up because I'm here for a couple of days. But I want to try new software that I was approved for and that it has connected with Tech Talk Live, but I don't know how to do it. So I will be going live again sometime tomorrow just to try to kind of figure this all out. It looks good. Thank you. I appreciate it. I gave up on the technology after like 2 hours of fighting with it. And so this is the usual setup. But I would love to be able to expand it and keep these lives for longer, and not have everything right here. So I'm excited for it. You get to see your three brothers enjoy a spa in amazing Quebec City, and honestly, that's gorgeous. Oh, that's so cool. I go up to about 500 kilometers north of Toronto mostly every year. Used to. Absolutely love Canada. It is gorgeous up there. Hello, welcome. So I would love to know, we've talked a little bit about ambient magic before, but now that we've had time to think about it, I would love to know what your ambient magic would be if you were in the Circle of Magic universe. The more I think about it, the more I think that mine would really have to do around storytelling and communications and persuasion. I also love the idea of being able to understand and translate any language. I think that sort of ambient magic around language and communication would be so cool. So I would love to know what kind of ambient magic you would have if you were in the Circle of Magic series. Hello, Katie. Good evening. The art behind you is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Isn't it, though? I love staying in places and having different arts and inspirations. You'll be just past Vermont. Perfect, Sanders. That sounds good. I think that's like way the other side. Cartography. Oh, that's such a good idea. Oh, that's so cool. That's a great idea. Yours would be fire, but in the calm and quiet way, a wildfire pops up. Calm and quiet wildfire. So you would have ambient fire magic. I would love to hear more about like how that would show up in different ways. One of my favorite parts about the Circle of Magic that it is there are so many unexpected ways that it can be used. Like Triss was using lightning to weld at one point. I love those sorts of multiple uses. You're here now. Wonderful. We're so glad you're here. Some kind of empathy-based healing magic for the mind and body. That would be really interesting. Of like if you listen to someone or able to see or understand someone, then that helps them heal. That kind of reminds me of Parable of the Sower, and the hyper empathy. I would do something soothing, emotions, or something that puts people at ease. People yap at you a lot. That makes sense. Murphy, Morgan, and Aubrey, you two sound like you have some like similar, just like a calming ease, a presence, an empathy, a way to understand. The question is around ambient magic. If you had ambient magic in the Circle of Magic series, what would it be? We've talked about it a little bit before, but I thought it was a good one to start off with as we're closing out Circle of Magic and coming into Tortall. Decreasing inflammation. That would be so interesting about where that would be able to show up in the world. If you had that power as your ambient magic, you would be really helpful. I wonder if like the inflammation in the body and the soul, inflammation in cooking or in war, or if you wanted somebody to just explode, you could just inflame all of them. That'd be a very interesting one. What ambient magic? Yes. What ambient magic would you have? There are so many options for it too. I think the dancing was cool. The movement was cool. Cooking and woodworking. There are so many that kind of, I think, bleed into each other. Like at what point does Briar's plant magic and the wood magic really work? Is it within the carpentry, like the skill itself? There's some good questions there. You are unfortunately a bit hot-headed, but it takes a while to come to the surface. But once it's there, okay, that makes sense for your fire magic. You had a Maximum Ride-inspired story idea as a kid where the characters didn't feel pain. That would be such an interesting, like being able to block somebody's pain receptors. I remember Maximum Ride. It's been a very long time since I read anything of that. Definitely a crafter of some sort. You'd love to weave extra protective magic into chainmail armor. That's a really cool idea, Ray. That's a really cool one. Of being able to, I wonder if that would be like when it's protective, is that like a shield? Is it strength? There are so many different ways to do that. And chainmail. Who wouldn't want some chainmail? You think a massive potential for modern ambient magic with today's technology. I do too. Like in Buffy, like what would they call them? Techno-pagans? I think there are a lot of different ways. I'm even thinking about things like if you had the ambient magic to unlock any door, that would be something so easy to use in the technology for today. Like, would those things apply? You could unlock a door, you could get through any different firewall. That would be very interesting to see how it would all pan out with today's technology. Could manipulate heat, but they could manipulate heat until that they were injured via inflammation, so they could channel. And that channel pain into fire magic. That's fascinating. That's part of that Maximum Ride inspired story. That would be so interesting. That reminds me of like just the idea of kinetic energy as a whole being able to be manipulated. I think that would be a very powerful ambient magic. Pain into fire magic. Oh. Waiting for Tortall. Me too. I'm so excited. So excited. We're jumping in. We have Terrier. You feel like you probably wouldn't have magic, but would be the type to treat magic like normal people. That makes sense too. I would want magic so badly. I do want magic so badly. When you were younger, it probably would have been languages, but as you get older, you don't know. I wonder, I'm curious what changed. You'd probably have something to do with data and spreadsheets. There's a magic in that. There's magic in spreadsheets and data, and I think there's magic in like mental math. I think that's all just a little bit of magic. The internet to me is magic. There are certain things in this world I'm okay with just leaving to magic. I don't need an explanation. There are plenty of other people who have that ambient magic, and I don't. So I could totally see that. As a librarian, you just wish you could think of something relevant. I think a really interesting one would be like an ambient magic to understand, and I don't think that this aligns with the kind of magic in here, but just the idea of knowing what someone needs, like having the magic or to understand what someone needs. And so if somebody came to you as a librarian, you could say, oh, here's this perfect recommendation. Or I know you came in for this book, but actually could I point you towards this resource in our microfiche collection? Or being able to find that perfect piece of information, I think would be such an awesome power, but also very, very dangerous. Allie would love that power. Hello, welcome. Thank you for the follow. You think yours would be the same type of plant magic or perhaps to ease negative emotions? I love Briar's plant magic and Rosethorn's plant magic in here. I really love the way that magic as a whole is really connected with nature. And so to have it show up in those ways would be so cool. I don't have a green thumb enough for that, but it would be so amazing to have. And same with the like easing negative emotions. I don't think I would want that, to be honest with you all. I enjoy making people uncomfortable. There is absolutely a part of me. I'm a huge contrarian, and sometimes you just need to sit in your uncomfortability for a bit. And I'm a good person to sit with you in that, or to help you be uncomfortable, push that. So I think for me, I would like the ability being able to manipulate emotions would be terrifying. But I would like being able to intensify emotions, or even just being able to understand and read the emotions would be really cool too. Catching up on these comments. I love that everybody here is joining in. Electric. Oh, electric magic translate as digital. That opens up a whole new can of worms, Ray. There are so many ways to think about that, like different kinds of electrical magic. I mean, I could even see magic in like binary code and being able to work magic through there. I wonder if Triss has any sway over the electricity and power for our digital world. Ooh, you're so right. The circle world, possibly bookkeeping or archival magic. You would be so good with that with your spreadsheets. The archival magic, bookkeeping, vital. Energy is heat, excited molecules. Magic. It's also magic. You finished Terrier and Bloodhound already. Look at you. I haven't started. But I did get new tabs. We are all in for it. I have new tabs. I have a whole list of ways I'm going to annotate. It's on. I'm so excited for it. Your bestie and you have started reading books out loud to each other and you want to introduce her to Tammy. Any recommendations for her to start? Ooh, you're thinking Circle of Magic. I will always recommend, if someone comes to me and says, where would I start in the Tamora Pierce universe? My recommendation is always going to be Alana. It's always going, well, I don't know about always. I haven't done the full read through, but at this point, I would go for Alana. But you know your friend best. And so I really loved Circle of Magic. I really did. And so I would not have any qualms about starting a friend on the Circle of Magic series, but I would want to make sure that my friend would be hooked all the way through. And there's only so much I can ask out of some of my friends, and so they will get targeted recommendations. But I think if you read along, do Circle of Magic, go for it. Your husband is a software engineer, and when he has code up, it looks like casting spells. Yes, my dad, I was computer nerd to the maximum, and anytime I would hear calls he was on or something, there would be totally different words or all the acronyms that they had to use. It was just absolutely wild. Oh, thank you. A good power for a librarian, you think. Abilities around repairing books no matter how damaged they are. I like that. And how much does that extend? Does that extend into scrolls? Does that extend into digital archives? Could you repair a Word document when you formatted it slightly differently and then everything kind of juts to the side? That would be, I like thinking about that. Sounds like restaurants and stores where the chef just knows what to get you, no orders. Yes, for the librarian. Oh, that would be so good. Of just knowing what someone wants to eat. I think that would be another good one too. Code is language. It's wild things people can do with it. Yes. If not cartography, something astronomy related. You weren't even thinking this realm. Oh, that's so cool. That's a great idea. I'm catching up on all of these comments. I appreciate you all being here and hanging out. I really like the idea, cartography and astronomy. Cartography, there's so many different ways to think about that, of being able to translate anywhere that you've been or anything that you've been able to see onto a 2D or 3D rendering, or being able to always know where you are. That would be a really cool ambient magic to have. Just being always able to tell where you are or always being able to point in the direction you need to go. Something like that would be really cool. Being able to map anything out would be awesome. And astronomy related, that would be so amazing too. Everything from navigation you could do. In Circle of Magic, there's definitely some level of astral projection, and so that brings a whole different realm in when you start talking about space. Ooh, to bring something over from Graceling Books? Yes, please and thank you. Ambient magic of survival would be cool. I think about that all the time. When I think about ambient magic, I do think about the Graceling Books all the time, and hers... I love those books, and her power in particular. So I'm glad you brought that up, Amanda. And thank you all for these badges and things. These are fun. Yes, Sergio, we are rereading the classics. We are reading the foundational fantasy. We are doing a chronological read-through through Tortall. We just finished the Circle of Magic series, and now we're doing Tortall. And so next week, next Wednesday, we are going to be talking about Terrier, Tamora Pierce's Terrier. Let me pull it out and have the dominoes not all fall down. So next week, we will be talking about Terrier. It's hefty. Please start reading. I haven't, and it's going to be a couple late nights. We'll get through. It'll be great. So I hope that you'll join next week, and then I will have a calendar out really soon about like what we're thinking for the pace, because I want to make sure that our pace is doing okay. And then when I mapped it out earlier, I realized that we would be talking about Alana during the holidays, and I don't expect people to like show up on Christmas Eve for this. So working on the scheduling, but I'll have a calendar soon. Just please know we are talking about Terrier next Wednesday, so we really hope you'll be there. Yes to the Grayson crossover. You're the one who would be in a game of assassins, and you would always be pointed to as the assassin, but they would always second guess themselves. I like that, of just like this power of assumption, or like being able to bypass assumption or things like that, or perception too. I think that would be really interesting. Yes, welcome to the Tammy Club, and thanks for following. Thank you for sharing all the information. And the Discord, yes. We have a Discord that we would love everyone to join if you're having a good time. Love this conversation. I am catching up on all these awesome comments. Disability to teleport without being addicted to dragon salt and dark magic would be cool. The ability to teleport, yes, that would be really cool. I mean, teleportation, if I could have any superpower on this planet, it would be shapeshifting. That way I could I could shapeshift into something with wings and fly, so I wouldn't have to teleport. But teleporting would be a swift, like, third on favorite or chosen superpowers. Makes you think of Magnus of the Library. I don't know that one. Library of anyone want to bring back the Library of Alexandria, please? You want that history? I'm right there with you. I would bring that back. Just being able to recreate it or something, that would be so amazing. Unmagic conceptually scares the shit out of you. Yes. Yes, that was really terrifying. The Real Library of Alexandria almost contained grammar textbook, yes. Scholars and stuff like that. You haven't read the Circle yet, so not so much of the magic system, but reversing decay, that's such an awesome one. Aubrey, that's a really great idea. The reversing decay for an ambient magic, that's a really great idea. And thank you for the little dinosaur. Anti-entropy. Oh, I love it, bringing the physics. So cool. Library of Alexandria, the majority of the studies related to language, and most of the texts had copies of them elsewhere. I love all of this history that's going on too. You're going to be doing your Terrier reread. You're psyched. Yes. I need people to psych up Terrier for me. All right. As we like transition into Tortall land. Well, I had other questions for... I had other questions for Circle of Magic, but I kind of want to jump into Tortall a little bit. Well, one question I do have is what are the things that we really like about Tortall, and what are the things that we really like about Circle of Magic? Are there things that Circle of Magic does better than Tortall, the Tortall universe? And are there things that the Tortall universe does better, in your opinion, of course, than the Circle of Magic universe? Because I always have this question of, do I love the Tortall books that much more because that's what I was exposed to first? Or are there these core elements of it that I relate to more rather than Circle of Magic? There are certain things I do think Circle of Magic does a lot better than Tortall. So I'm curious, as we're bridging our divide, I'm going to catch up on these comments. I love it all. It'll be Christmas morning for you. Yeah, it'll be Christmas morning for you, so maybe You don't need to be in book club. Where else would you be on Christmas Eve? At work? Yes, yes. Fire, yes. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so glad that all of you all are talking to each other in these comments too, instead of just at me. That makes me so happy. Like practically repair esoterically, ending the world. Yeah. The reversing decay thing, you would have to have such control and balance and understanding of so many different things. So cool. Nico would have to be the one that teaches, yes, in that world. You would want to give yourself something cool, but would probably have the magic of being annoying. I would love to reframe that because I spent a while talking about myself as annoying, and I had it reframed for me as being an advocate. I've also had being an advocate being reframed as being an annoyance. My cousin, if you're here, hey, told me for a long time that while I was an advocate working on Capitol Hill and at the UN and things like that, and my cousin would introduce me as a professional annoyance. And so I think that there are really good things about being annoying. Sometimes not just sometimes, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So keep being annoying. Yes, you're so appreciated here, right? Well, Misfit, considering I've been undercover with being a lesbian, you guess the skill you've been in hiding for a while. Yes. You have so many skills. Think of the maps. Becca does so much with maps. Okay, you knew, as fangirl, you knew right where to get me. I do love these maps. I love these maps. We've got a big old map here. And then we just get more map here. I do love a map. And I get more than one. And they're good maps too. So you're right. I need to think of the maps. Has anyone listened to the audiobook? The reader is amazing. I haven't yet, but I am planning on doing it's hard for me to do both at the same time, but flipping back and forth. I'm going to try to do both because it does help with the pronunciation for things. And Sandry, you're not the first person to talk about how good the audiobook version is, and that's just given me all the more reason to listen to it. The Found Family is better in Emelon. I agree with that. I think the Found Family is better in Emelon. I also think the female friendships in particular are really fantastic in Emelon. I think that just because of a lot of the setting, for some of these books, there's not as many opportunities for the main characters, but I do think in Emelon, the female friendships are phenomenal, and I agree, the Found Family is better. You've done one pass and have notes galore. Yes! I'm so excited. And the second pass, you have new things you want to mark up. Yes, fantastic. The gods. The circle only has theoretical gods. I agree with you on that. Roserad, that's one of the big points that I kept trying to pull out between these two. And then the further along it gets in the Circle of Magic series, the more convoluted I feel like the gods and structures and immortal systems are, with the introduction of Luvo, and it's just whereas Tortall, those are so solid. I know where everyone stands. I know how it all relates to each other. I thought it was very solidly well done in Tortall. You like the found family-ness of the circle? Yes, me too. Dun, dun, dun. You love the magic systems of the circle, but Tortall is a tier above for me. Me too. Oh, and you love the map so much. Oh, I'm catching up on these. Okay. Tortall pulled you in first and honestly had you hooked so fast. She has a redhead in it, and that's also what pulled you in. Me too. Me too. All of the same things. And being short. For the longest time, I really did think I was the same height as Alana. I spent most of my life thinking I was the same height as Alana until I measured myself for that video. And no, she's taller than I am. But that, and then I know there's Triss in the Circle of Magic series, and I do think that if I read those when I was younger and had Triss, I think that I don't think I would have liked her. I think I would have related to her rather than wanted to be her. And so I'm glad that I came back to her later on. Circle as a concept playground, Tortall for slightly more grounded. I agree with you. Yes, the theory, the idea that, like, at least for me, I think that Tamora Pierce used the Circle of Magic series to kind of like test and play with ideas that she then really used and implemented in Tortall. And so and we'll see that play out quite a bit as we do the read through. And so when you are reading through, I would love to know if there are things that you pick up on. There are tons in Becca's books in particular for where these last ones that we were reading. It really feels like she was writing this while writing these and was able to like play around with some ideas and then implement them here. So I'm so excited for that. You love Circle, but Lady Knights and Pages training and the politics in Tortall are so fun. I completely agree with you. For me, so much of the reason why I love Tortall was that feeling of me or the main character against society, the world, the idea of who I'm supposed to be, and this opportunity to redefine it. And I don't think in the Circle of Magic series that we have this defined standard that you're supposed to be, that the main characters push against. They're all like collectively creating themselves. We do get a little bit of it like with Sandry, with some of them, but it's such a main component of these books of like, you are supposed to be this. Society expects you to be this. And here are all of the different ways that you're going to reinvent it, go up against it, assimilate to it. I really like that aspect of it in Tortall. And the politics too, like, perfect. I love those. I appreciate you all letting me rant. Keep the comments coming. I'm catching up. Tortall does better with the big gods, but Circle does better with the little gods. I don't know about that. I don't think I agree with that because I am really thinking about the divine realms. I am thinking about the badger. I'm thinking about all like the wolf gods. I think about all of the different. I felt more connected to all of the gods, no matter the big or small, in Tortall than I did in Circle of Magic. In Circle of Magic, I really only felt connected with Odie Bookkeeper, because that's the one I feel like we heard talked about the most and I have the most context for. You love magic. Yeah, Tortall's. You love the maps too. Becca also loves maps. Love her various usages of maps throughout her books. I do too. I think her book does the best with maps besides. I don't have the good copy of Lady Knight here. I only brought. I do not have my hardback. The hardback copy of Lady Knight is perhaps my gold standard for different maps in a book because it has the New Haven map, it has, all of the different, it has the Tortall map, and it has the Saccharin map, and it has the New Haven map, like deep in here. And so this is my like gold standard for Tamora Pierce maps, although, and I need to get the YouTube together because I have a whole map ranking system written out, and I'm so excited to share it with you all because it uses Tamora Pierce maps as examples. And so the one in Tempest and Slaughter is the most complete one that we have. But Becca's map I love because it is world building in a way that you don't get with most fantasy maps. Most fantasy maps, it's like, yes, you can situate yourself and you can situate a journey on the map, but the maps in Becca's books make Tortall deeper, richer, older. You can see how it changes. The first time I read these, I was immediately going through my other books, seeing how they changed. seeing what was named differently, how they overlapped, did any borders change, that sort of thing. And that really just deepens the world building. Jitters, welcome! You love Tamora Pierce, and I just showed up on your feed. Welcome. We do this every week. We are doing a chronological read-through. We have lives where we talk. We have a Discord channel. Come hang out. I love it. You love how separate but intertwined all of the stories in Tortall are. Me too, Katie. That's one of my favorite pieces about it, about Tortall, is just the characters I know and love show up in different ways throughout all of the books. My favorite character is Alana, and having her show up over and over again and be the same character but like slightly different or be perceived differently is one of my favorite parts about it. It makes the world feel full. And I think that was one thing I wish we had more of in the Circle of Magic series. There were so many of the books took place across the entire world that they had, that there wasn't enough time to truly dig deeply into a space and to see these characters over and over again in different settings. And so I think that's another area that would have been really nice to dig more deeply in the world building for a Circle of Magic. Her voice is gorgeous in the audiobook. Oh, I'm so excited for it. Okay. You think the Circle universe does a good job of showing the breadth of the... Yes, exactly. I'm catching up on these comments, y'all. I know you're having these ideas before I do, but I'm getting there. I'm coming through. She does different voices and accents. Oh, thank you, Useless Goblin Thing, for updating and welcoming. Oh, I love this group. So excited for you all to be here. You just like the history of Tortall. It feels more connected. I agree with you, and I think that is because we have the opportunity to go deep into Tortall. Like, yes, there are a couple of books that are in Carthag or on the Copper Isles, but everything else really takes place over. I think the other piece of it is a long span of time. Like, we see generations in the Tortall series, and in Circle of Magic, we're just seeing like barely even a coming of age. They eventually get to an age. You definitely wanted to be Alana. You love swords. You now have 4, but Mom is very into women not being into that stuff. Ugh. Similar, absolutely. I wanted to be her. I ended up collecting a bunch of swords. I even have one with me. Because they're so hard, but it's that idea of like you have something to go against. And thank you for the dinosaurs. You like the structure of Tortall, connected pieces. Yes, me too. As someone married to an autistic man, you love Becca's sense of justice. I'm so excited for Becca's sense of justice and discussions about Becca's sense of justice in context of her basically being a cap. Like, what does that mean? And there's a really interesting intersection of classism here as well that I am so excited to talk about too. Like, Becca's such a fascinating character to me, and it's been a while. I've never done like a really like analytical read through of her books, and so I'm excited to do that with other people. In Tortall, we might interacted with the gods, while in Circle, we only hear about them. Yes, that's a huge one. Until the end. Until it's like, oh, I'm the heart of the mountain, and everywhere has mountains, and things sing, and there are spirits. Oh, I don't know. There were certain points I was like, this just added a whole new layer to things that would have changed everything if you introduced it a couple books ago. But I get it. Tortall ladies are so sure of what's right and fight for it. And you're a people pleaser. That's a really interesting point. Because they do. All of them really do know, to an extent, what they want. I think that Daine at the beginning, she takes a while to find herself, but when she does know what she wants. And even when you learn about her history, she wants to survive. Yes. They all really do. I think these are just I can't even say that they're younger because we meet Alana and Kel when they're like 10. So I think you're onto something there. I do. And being a people pleaser, this is one of the reasons I learned. This is how not to be a people pleaser is through reading these books. Another Tammy fan, join us. Thank you for following. Yes, we love Tamora Pierce here. We do this every Wednesday, and sometimes, other times, I will be doing a live again tomorrow. We have a Discord too. I'm so excited. All of these people are joining us for book club this week. There's deep history interior. There really is, and it adds so much. I think there's something to be said too about writing a prequel after you've written the world, and it really did allow Tammy to dig deeply into things. Although she did introduce a couple of things that I wish had more explanation about why it didn't happen in these other books. Like spinners, that would have been really cool in all of these other books. So I'm really excited to do these rereads. I'm gonna annotate the shit out of it. This is like grad school prep. You have scars on your knuckles from following Liam's directions on how to punch. Ooh, I can't wait for us to talk about Liam. And I'm so curious too. I'm trying to think about those scenes because I think I know exactly what scenes you are talking about while they're on the road too. And I think I did try. I know I absolutely tried to do some Shang moves after I read the short story in the Tortall and Other Tales about mimicking animals to become a Shang warrior. I absolutely did that too. And Wench with a Wrench, we're so happy you're here. What if Becca's magic reappears in one of Allie's kids? Love it. Yes, I'm in. And like I know she has sight, like I know she has the sight, and so do the other Coopers. But I would love to have another form of death magic. One thing I am really excited to talk about, and if you've been following along for a while, you're probably like, this morbid woman. I'm really excited to talk about death in these books, death and mourning, particularly when we talk about Mastiff. There's just an incredible representation of death in Mastiff and across a lot of the other books that I'm really excited to talk about. There are tons of these themes that show up too. So you always thought that talking about spinners and stuff were a lost art. And then maybe that's the explanation. It's been a while since I've reread them, and so I appreciate everyone's patience with me when I am making these silly little videos, and I'm not always perfect on every understanding. You all have been great, and I've never once felt like attacked for not knowing everything about Tamora Pierce. But just to lay it out there, I've probably only read these Becca's books like 3 times, whereas these I've read at least at absolute bare minimum 15, 20. So we'll get there. But these, I'm doing a lot of learning, and I appreciate everyone who's along for the ride to help me learn. Let's see. I'm catching up on comments. Thank you all so much. That's why we didn't see him in the other books. You need to see if Becca can tell if someone's lying beyond tells. I'll look for that too, because it's been a while since I've jumped to that. So you're 40 and started reading Alana when you were 11. It is absolutely your special interest. I'm right there with you. I started when I was 11. I vividly remember that period scene changed my life, and I haven't looked back. And so I started making a lot of content, or Tamora Pierce content, because I joined Book Talk to like slow down my reading and have a place to talk about books, and was not seeing anything about my favorite series of all time. So I became the change I wanted to see on my FYP. And you all have made it so fun and worth it. Yeah, so a variation of the site. And you love the description of death in Mastiff. Me too. I cannot wait for us to get there. I'm really excited about it. She seems quite astute, but you wonder if it is the site. Yes. You do an annual re-listen to all the Tortall books. It's a must-do every year. Oh, I do at least these 8 every single year, bare minimum. Usually these two, and then I'll throw in Allie's like every other year, and then Let's see. You want to clarify it's not just how your kid brain rationalizes it. Yeah, oh, absolutely. You would love to know what the Black God thinks of Kristoff being George's patron. Yes. I like to think that the Black God really doesn't have opinions about those sorts of things, but it's been a while since I've reread them, so I need to reread again before I get all into my Black God feels. Yes, Tammy hangs out on her unofficial fan club page on Facebook. It is so cool. I love that Facebook page. I've been a part of it for well over a decade. I don't post in there like at all ever often, but I'm a chronic liker. If you have ever posted in the Tammy Facebook page, I can almost guarantee that I have liked your post. Because it's a great place. I will also throw in, I did a video about this earlier today, but Tammy has a Patreon. And so please, if you are able and really love Tammy and are feeling up for it, she has a Patreon that goes directly to her. And that's what you can do, participate in really cool Q&As, and she released like her September reading list, things like that. And so that's a really great place to support her. There's also like a larger Discord page that is just for Tammy. But as our book club here, we have our own Discord. And so please join it. There's a link on the bio. And we have a great time talking over there. We usually have an after book club meetup too. I take a couple of minutes. I have to take care of some animals and then I'll join after this, but would love to have you all there too. I'm catching up on these. Oh, you think Becca's brother Will has horse magic? Yes, I think I remember that a little bit. I can't wait. Oh, I need to reread. Yes, we're rereading Terrier Now to discuss next Wednesday. Fantastic. I love people who are already in the Patreon. I'm in there too. Oh, you wish you could understand Discord. It confuses you so much. I joined Discord for this. And so I'm learning. There are some amazing people who have been helping, and I appreciate them so, so much. So Terrier is next week. Let's see. I have Better than Tortall. What makes these books rereadable? No, now that we've done The Circle of Magic, all the fan art, all the fanfics for any of it, all of it, throw it in the Discord, throw it in here, throw it wherever. Oh, I want to read. One big question that I have as we head into our Tortall reread, again, we're doing a chronological order. I will have a calendar out so soon, I promise. Is what do you all want from a Tortall reread? What are the important things to you? What are the themes that you want to pull out? What are things you want to talk about? Are there things you want to dwell on? Are there different activities we could be doing? I have been thinking about doing a Tamora Pierce trivia night. We've talked about doing a cooking. People have already started sharing recipes and doing recipes in the Discord, and I was smiling, beaming, squealing when I saw that earlier. I was like, people are actually creating these recipes. Love it. And so, thank you for the offering to help our assigned moderator. You're perfect. What do you want to see when we do Tortall? What do we want to do? Got a lot of Will. I am thinking about doing a cosplay of Becca during October at some point in time. So cosplay, I would love to just have more opportunities for us to connect, us to talk about these books and series that we love. If there is a trending sound, send it my way that you want to use. If there's a video topic that you are interested in, please let me know. Because I have a huge list of ideas, but I'm just kind of throwing things against the wall, different spaghetti against the wall. Some of it's penne, some of it's spaghetti, sometimes it's like a chickpea. So I would love any ideas that you have, or different things you want to see or talk about when it comes to Tortall. You wonder if Stephen Groomsman is a descendant of Will Cooper. That would be so interesting. I would love to see a family tree of like all the way down from even before Becca, all the way down. I really wish we had more about the lady knights of the era too. Tamora Pierce and Epic crossover. Do I know what Epic is? Oh, Epic is the musical, right? I think so. Because I would be so in the Odyssey, Iliad and the Odyssey. That was my special interest for a while. Perfect. Okay. So I'm not seeing many ideas. That's all right. I can come up with ideas too. Love Sabine, love Goodwin. Yes, we love. I would love to know about like how spoiler avoidant do we want to be? Because I'm thinking there's one rather large one in particular in Mastiff that if you haven't read it, it will destroy you. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. It will destroy you. So I don't want to break anybody's soul, but these books have also been out for a long time. So I don't know how many people are doing a reread versus a read. We, on the Discord, we have a particular channel for the book that we're reading at the time. That way, if you don't want to have any spoilers, you don't have to. But there are certain things that I'm like, how will it unfold? Epic, the Odyssey musical. You're obsessed with it right now? Okay. Amanda, if you have any links or ideas for things, because I think I've listened to it maybe once, but if you have like fan art or if there are different TikToks that you love about it, please DM me. Please send them. You're reading Alana for the first time and you're just here to talk about George. Okay, sorry. Nope. Keeping it together. I'm thrilled that you are reading these books for the first time and that you love George because he's the best, the absolute best. So thank you for being and joining. I can't wait to talk about George more. These books are about his ancestor. And so if you wanted to get to know George more-ish, there's plenty here. Oh, absolutely destroyed you. Yeah. Mastiff's a hard one. Mastiff is a hard book to get. Anger, sadness, all of the emotions happen in Mastiff. You're excited to have people to process this destruction with. I agree. It's going to be a little while before we get to Mastiff. What I'm thinking right now, and this is just tentative, and I really hope that if people have other ideas to please hit me with them. I would love for like our after hours book club on the Discord, if I could have some time to brainstorm with people around the scheduling things. Because at this point I was thinking we do one book a month from now to the end of the year. So like October 1st would be Terrier. And then for the next 3 weeks, we would do different topics that had to do with Terrier, and all of the other books. But I'm thinking like justice and policing that really applies to Terrier a lot more than some of the other books, but it is a theme that shows up a lot in other books, so we would be able to talk about all of them together. And then we would start the new year with Tempest and Slaughter, Numaire's book, and then jump into Song of the Lioness. Just a thought. That's kind of where we are right now. That is what I'm thinking. So hop on the Discord later and we can hash it out, but we'll come back with a calendar. And if we keep that and then switch back to our like every other week one, because the books get smaller, we would have book club in Tortall through July. This will be the most stable thing in my life right now. Like it's not already. For Mastiff, worst twist in a good kind of way. Yeah, the Mastiff spoiler. You don't think so personally. Wild magic can pop up anywhere, not a family line thing. That's true. That is very true. I do think in certain ways Tamora Pierce tried to tie bows with having the prequel written after those. And so it's going to be really interesting to see what pops up. George was your first book crush. don't remember who mine was, but I know George was absolutely up there. And it took me a little while to really like him. For a while, I thought Alana should have gone with John. I think that only lasted like 1 or 2 rereads, and I was like, oh no, this is the perfect one. You need time to emotionally prepare for the end of Mastiff. Me too. You have no recollection of reading Mastiff, so you're about to start sometime today. Ooh, good luck. Yes, absolutely. Good luck. Love the policing topic. Fantastic. Good. There are so many topics that, like, Tamora Pierce doesn't shy away from these topics, and I don't think we should either. And so I hope people will show up with critical thinking skills and empathy and bravery, all of the things that you need to have a good conversation. Trying to find the tentative schedule in Discord. Okay, we can find a way to pull that up. It's in the Magpie section, I think. And thank you for all these roses and for the follows. I'm so excited to have more people. There are tons of people who are joining this live this time around. And thank you for the dolphins. I haven't seen those before. Those are very cool. So we'll have a terrier. Let's see. I'm going to pull up some of the topics just so you can get an idea of what some of the topics I was thinking about. So for terrier, some of the topics would be like justice and policing, class and power, how that shows up. I really think her being like an undercity dog is such a huge part of her identity, and how class shows up in like the relationship with Lady Sabine, how class shows up, and we can talk about all of this. So I think like class shows up a lot in the Circle of Magic series and how it's navigated there, but I thought it was a good one to put under Becca's umbrella. I also thought about food and daily life. There's a lot, especially because it's a diary setting, there's a lot about just the food that she eats, her errands that she runs throughout the day, how difficult it is to keep herself and her space clean, that sort of thing. And so, and then like ending the month with some sort of like cosplayer costumes. So that was just some thoughts. You're loving how our little family is growing. Me too. Me too. That's what I love about the books. Age appropriate, but not afraid to broach these topics. Yes. Food. I know food seems to be such a popular topic, so I'm in. I will warn you all right now. I have absolutely no talent in cooking. None. I can't follow directions very well, and that's a huge part of cooking. So we're going to see how it goes, but if you are in to laugh along with my failures, I am too. I'm quite excited for it. So we'll do some food. We'll do some fan fiction. So for Bloodhound, some of the things I was thinking were like how Tamora Pierce does background research and world building, what that looks like. Bloodhound has a lot of great themes around like the money system. In an interview, Tamora Pierce was like, when I was writing Bloodhound, I kept saying to myself, who is going to read a 500-page book about counterfeiting? And the answer is me. Me. I absolutely will. So how does she do that kind of research? Were there other books that perhaps could have used more research before being written? That sort of thing. I would love to do... Oh, I have Class and Power on here twice. I got to fix that. Fan fiction. I would love to have a midwinter celebration. Do some short story reading, things like that. Yes, Becca mentions budgeting. Not something the lady knights deal with as much. No, not at all. Especially Alana over here, gifting. Love her, love her. You like how LGBT is handled in the books. I agree. I think that would be a really good topic too to talk about. And it's something that I really want to talk about, gender and sexuality, but I wasn't sure where it would fit in all of the Tortall books. Like where would be a good spot to talk about gender and sexuality? They don't even have to be talked about together. I think there are so many different facets too. So like talking about gender presentation versus gender expectations, society as a whole, talking about the like wielding power. There are so many different subtopics too. And so if you have thoughts about like, oh, it would be perfect if we talked about transgender identities when we talked about Bloodhound, or about what we were feeling in our feels when Alana is going through hers in the first couple. So I would love any ideas. And so please share in here, on the Discord, anywhere else. I'm trying to build out a calendar. It's never set in stone. I'm just trying to create some consistency. And so you have a little bit more expectations. Catching up on these comments. Brittany, you inspired me to write a fanfic instead of your original book. Really? I would love to know, because I think you sent me a synopsis of your book a little while ago that I read and I enjoyed. And so I'd be so curious to read your fanfic now. Kel does a little, being the youngest daughter of a large family, but not as much as Becca. Yes, I would love to hear more, because I think there are so many. We compare Becca to Alana a lot, but I think that there are a lot of parallels between Kel and Becca as well. Like, did you know the original book that became Alana, Tom and Roger were a couple? I didn't know that they were necessarily a couple. I knew that there was vibes and tones, and there's still even a question of those overtones, whether or not there was grooming, the age difference, power difference, things like that. I should do a video about the lore of Alana's book and how it was all one book and then became 4, and it was an adult book and then YA. There's tons there. But I didn't know about that one in particular. Kel's a commander, not just a knight. So much more paperwork. She gets a scribe. She gets some scribes, though, and she says they're worth their weight in gold, and I couldn't agree with her more. When I reread those after, like, having a big girl job and needing to do my own admin for a little while and then getting someone to do my admin, I was like, this is the best thing ever. All hail the admin workers. They're incredible. They make the world go round. Bloodhound would be good, you think? It's the most explicit on gender. I think that it is the most explicit on gender, too. I think it was written at a time where the language around gender was a lot more accessible and in mainstream, whereas Alana's books didn't have the same sort of language that we have now. Gender roles in the Lioness. I think that would be a good one, too. Commanders risk death by paperwork, yes. You think there are some poly implications in Becca's books? That was your first intro to the idea. Oh, I can't wait to reread those. Yes, when I think about poly in Tamora Pierce's world, I think immediately about Lark and Rosethorn and their little discipline cottage. There are a lot of her books available on Thrift Books right now. Thank you for sharing that, Brittany. So yes, if you are looking for these books, go find them on Thrift Books. There are a couple available through the showcase in my link, but don't do that. Go to the thrift store, get the cool covers, get the good ones that you want. Have a hunt. Go on a hunt. Frequent a local bookstore. I am on the prowl right now I left my copy of A Spy's Guide in another state, and so I've been going to the local bookstores to try to find another one. And I'm along for the hunt. Scribes for Midwinter. Yes, I want scribes for Midwinter. Rusto, Anakir, and Cora were a throuple. Yes, I forgot about them. I'm so excited to reread these, so I stop having moments like that. Thank you all for these badges and liking the lives. I so appreciate everybody. I have loved this community. It gives me so much more encouragement. I think I would be making these videos even if no one was here, but because you all are, it's so much more fun, and I make more of them, and I'm so happy you all are here. And I do want to make, oh, thank you. I do want to make videos and things that you would like. And I am working on the YouTube too. The big part right now is I just don't have a lot of stability. I am jumping between houses. I'm doing a bunch of house sitting, remote work, all of that. And so I don't really have a lot of stability. And so I have to set up a spot, take it all down. But here soon I'm going to have a little bit more stability, and I'm going to be diving in and hopefully doing more YouTube, more long form. And so the more you all tell me what you want to see, the more I will be able to do that. But also know that I'm going to make what I want, because that's the fun part about all of this. And I'm just so thankful you all are here for it. And thank you for these and the tiny dinosaurs. This is so good. Okay, so let's see. We got to wrap up. We don't have to wrap up, but I like to keep things predictable-ish. This is the one predictable part of my life. Yeah, so what do you want to add to the Tortall reread? I think our last little shindig for this live, because again, reminder, next week, Terrier. We've got a lot to read, so you better get reading. What book are you most excited to reread in Tortall, or read for the first time in Tortall with us? You're going to start reading and annotating tonight. Fantastic. I think I'm going to try to. We'll see how I feel after the year, after book club. I still have to take care of some animals, but yes, I'm curious, what book are you most excited to reread with everyone? I think for me, I think I'm most excited for either Mastiff or Song of the Lioness. And within Song of the Lioness, I don't know. This is such a hard one. But yeah, I want to hear, which ones are you most excited about? Okay, Daine's, Wishy Hobbit, Daine's books are the ones you're most excited about. Got for the 439. Perfect. Song of the Lioness Quartet will be your favorite. You go back and forth between Squire and Lady Night being your favorites. Mastic for the context of your recent reread. You're excited to find people to nerd out about Tammy with. We're excited you're here. Trickster's Duet is your favorite. Yes, we have not had much Tricksters representation here, so please stick around. You're going to be very important in this reread. I feel like every series is going to end up having a champion of their own to like hype everybody else up and have really good conversations and questions and thoughts and ideas. And so I love how it's really spread out. Squire is your favorite book and has been for many years, so you're excited to read it with other people. Oh, yes. Farron, that Emperor's Mage, the crash out is chef's kiss. I completely agree. Okay, so Alana is my favorite. Like, these books, this quartet is my everything. This is my favorite book, though. This is my favorite book that Tammy has ever written. So I'm right there with you. My display's falling apart a little bit. I'm right there with you. Oh, Tricksters. Brittany, you're a Tricksters too? Okay, I'm excited for that. I'm excited. We need more Tricksters love. You love all of the books so much, but you haven't picked up Tricksters in a few years. I think that'll be good for all of us. Rereading all of us, we're building up to it too. You have until like next July. Cal's books always hold a special place for you. Ooh, me too. The older I get, the more I love Kel's books, particularly Squire and Lady Night really speak to me now that I'm older. You reread it every year. Oh, perfect. I love how rereadable these books are. Allie is so sassy and funny. She is. I think she's totally different than all of the rest of the heroines. Tamora Pierce does such a great job of that, of writing just completely different main characters. And Allie is sassy and funny. I love her blue hair. At that moment when I read that, I was like, ooh, you are one for me. You also need people to talk about Mastiff with. Anyone you meet who's read Tamora Pierce hasn't read it. I agree. Like that's the reason why Mastiff and Becca's books really are not my favorite. They're just not. I'm hoping that I learn to really love and enjoy them during this reread. And that's why I'm most excited about Mastiff for us as a reread, because I can read Song of the Lioness all day long. I don't need anyone else to share my love for that. It just like radiates off of me. But I'm excited to have a group of people to talk about Becca's books with, particularly Mastiff, because of how complicated it is, how like the twists and turns and ideas and imagery and the structure. There are so many different pieces of it. So I really am so excited for that. Did Squire make anyone else fall madly in love with Raoul? Oh, yes. And Bury. And the two of them together. I'll take them both. In the middle of rereading Trickster's series for the first time. That's really exciting. That first time is it's such a ride. It's such a fun ride. I hope you're really enjoying it. Those are really good books. You haven't read The Lady Night Quartet, so you think it'll be interesting to read it here. I'm so excited for you to read those with us. They're so good. So good. I'm so excited for you to read them with us. Next on the buy list, you're buying as we come up, starting reading them and doing a little hunt for them. Perfect. I love doing like the little hunt, finding some great finds. Like I found the special edition of the Circle of Magic books. These two are the special editions. I found those, well, just on the local used bookstore hunt. Terrier makes you cry worthy, but it's Terrier makes you cry worth it, but you ugly cry. I get it. Terrier, I can't wait. I'm gonna start the reread so soon. And then cry. There are moments in this that are really pull at the heartstrings. Kells makes you so sad. The big bad. Oh my gosh. When you find out where the screams come from, haunting. Yeah, I can't wait to read those with everyone. When Roland talks to Tansy, oh, I know. I'm so excited. Okay. Yes. You've been reading them out loud to your boyfriend. It took you forever to get through it. I think reading out loud is one of the most romantic things that you can do. And then like reading aloud one of your favorite series. I'm smitten. You haven't read Tempest and Slaughter, so you're excited about the context of the reread as well. Oh, perfect. I'm curious. Have other people skipped out on Tempest and Slaughter too? I feel like that's one of the main ones that people, if they've read everything else, they haven't necessarily read Tempest and Slaughter. And you're starting your reread of Terrier today. Oh, good luck. I think I'm going to start mine too. I'm so excited. I got my tabs ready to go. You just finished it. You didn't know it existed until about a month ago. Oh, good. He knows that these books have shaped you, and so he's encouraging you to share them with him. Oh, that's adorable. My heart. I am trying to get a couple of people in my life to read them. It's like pulling teeth. These are so great. Yeah, it's so sweet. I love it. Tempest and Slaughter is the last book you haven't read. I think that there's going to be a lot of that when we get to Tempest and Slaughter. I'm excited to read it again. I think I've only read it once or twice. And there are themes I really enjoyed in it. It's going to be a very interesting one to talk about. I think that like coming of age might be one of the topics that we talk about around these books, because it's done differently. And Tammy very explicitly said that she wanted to write like a coming of age story for boys, whereas she wrote so many for girls. Let's see. You just reread Trickster's Queen and Trickster's Choice. Oh, love those. If you stick around through all of Tortall, we will get to those in probably July of next year. So if you wanted to do your annual reread with us next year, please. You even tried buying people copies of Alana, but no dice. Me too. Me too. I think I convinced a bunch of people at work in one of the last places I worked to read it. But the friends, they have their own TBRs that they're trying to work through. You purchased so many copies of Lioness Mortals and Protector of the Small Quartet. Like, you're going to enjoy my favorite author, and I will prove it. It's like force feeding. Just a little like, hey, here you go. Slide this in. You'll love it. One way that I've used to share with certain people is just like, if you want to know about the books that shaped me, it's this one right here. If you want to learn a little bit more about what's happening up here, why I am the way that I am, right here, these books. Tempest and Slaughter seemed like such a different vibe than anything else. I completely agree. Tempest and Slaughter really was different, but I think this comes back to an idea that I'm still trying to work through how to articulate with Tammy, and it comes down to like her feminism. And her feminism, I feel like, is always a couple of years ahead of the mainstream conversation, and the form that it takes. And so Alana, hers is very much, how do I transform to fit within this structure itself? Daine is like, I'm working from the outside. There are a lot of different, it progresses. You can kind of like trace the history of our feminism, like the different waves of feminism through her books. And I think Numares is also a reflection of that, this idea of like, but what about the boys? What about the men? When we talk about patriarchy, are we leaving them out entirely? There's just, I think it's indicative of the conversations that were happening or were about to happen at the time. And so it's not an idea I've fully worked through yet or know how to convey adequately at this moment, but I feel it with Numares, and so it meets that through line for me, but it does give off such a different vibe. But I think that was the intention. I'm excited to get to Numares books. This will be a good conversation. Also, just Numares as a character. Complicated. The man is complicated. Tempest and Slaughter is the only one you've listened to and never read, even though your parents gifted you a copy. I haven't listened to it, so I'm curious how that changes the experience. You've only read it once, you adore Numere, and so reading about his childhood and schooling was amazing. I had complicated feelings about Numere. I do love Numere, and I'm so glad that we have these books. I want the other ones too. I want to know about his falling out with the Emperor so badly. I want to know about them fighting. I want that arc so badly. You bullied your army colonel dad into reading them by telling you that he was being a bad feminist. I love that. I think you can bully people into reading. Don't be a bad feminist. Read these books. Foundational. I think these are foundational feminist fantasy. That is how I would describe this, is foundational feminist fantasy. I do think that there are like a lot of themes of white saviorism. I do think that there's complicated gender things that aren't necessarily fleshed out. I think of course, the age gap situation is an issue. There are issues with these books, but I do think overall I would absolutely classify them as like foundational feminist fantasy texts, in which all these other ones have branched off for. I need to just get on this YouTube thing, because another script that I've been working on is around like this evolution from Éowyn to Alana to Eileen, and just how we trace this idea of a woman warrior with a sword. And you can directly see the line, like Alana is directly inspired by Éowyn in Lord of the Rings. And I think that she has become a blueprint and foundation. And I think all of these heroines have become the blueprint and foundations for so much of the modern fantasy that we read. I'm catching up on comments. You all are so great. You want the end of a story so badly. Oh, me too. Such a foundational bunch of series. Yes. You were listening to Will of the Empress today and did not know how off your pronunciations. Me either. The pronunciations, I am so thankful y'all are sticking with me through some of these because some of them are not good. Not good at all. But I am trying. I'm going to do more of the audiobooks so I can get them closer, especially because these ones, I love these ones. I know I've been pronouncing their names incorrectly in my head this whole time, but I'm on a mission to try to fix it. You got your wires crossed and thought it was about Noir and wasn't interested in it. Oh no, that brings up something else about Noir I'm seeing here. Because I need to know more about Noir personally. I think he occupies such an interesting space in humanity and gender, and he is learning about masculinity through Allie and these societal expectations, and he occupies such an interesting space for me, and I'm really excited to talk about him and his fatherhood and his own journey, and Allie and his romance with Allie. I think that he has one of the most romantic arcs that Tamora Pierce has written. They tell me that you didn't have to fit into a mold to be able to have friends and to love yourself. I love that because I think that is a message throughout all of these, is this idea of this self-love and being able to be yourself and fit in. I'm really thinking about Alana in particular, or even all of them. All of them go through some sort of arc where they're worried about whether or not they will be accepted as they are, and it's when they show up as themselves that they are accepted. And I realized that made no sense, but I'm hoping you all got it. When we get to Alana, you have gender thoughts. There's a lot of gender thoughts here. I'm right there with you. Lots of gender thoughts. Yes, lots of gender thoughts. We'll get there, though. Yes, if Tolkien is the father, Pierce is the mother of fantasy. They have inspired so many authors. That's such a great way to put it. Yes, Noir, your love. Pronunciations are based off of your heart and how you misread the name the first time. I agree. It's really, all of my pronunciations and mispronunciations do come from the heart. Just deep in the gut sometimes, too. So good. Worms feeding worms, blog, right? You think of Le Guin as the mother and Pierce as the little sister, though. I would love to know more about their crossover, because I immediately thought of Le Guin as well. Although it's hard. I've mostly read her sci-fi stuff, though, and so I wouldn't my brain didn't automatically go to fantasy. I'm not saying she has written fantasy too, but I know her most, I loved Left Hand of Darkness. Clearly, I have gender things. Clearly. Love Noir, but his origins were pretty straightforward. I agree, yes. It wouldn't be about his origins that I'm curious about. I want an old Noir. I would love to have a story of an old Noir who's retelling stories from his past, or how does he deal with grandchildren? Things like that I think would be cool. Or what happened to his flock? Whether because of their gender, past bias, or family pressures, they taught you to soar. That is so beautifully put. I love that. And McCaffrey is the space dragon ant. I love that. We should make a feminist fantasy family tree of all of the different authors that you should read if you were trying to get into some foundational feminist fantasy. Okay, this is a really good idea. We need to get on this, because I see a video in the future. There's a beautiful foundational feminist family tree. There's so many good authors that would go on there, and I think that would be really beneficial. There's so many. I read a lot of modern fantasy too, but there's really nothing like some of these. Mercedes Lackey, hello. Can't believe her name hasn't been brought up yet. Love Mercedes Lackey. Clearly I have a gender thing. Also wants to shape change powers. I know. I've had a lot of internal, I've done the work. I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of work. I've come down on the side of I want to be a lady knight, I think is the closest to my gender expression. Yeah. I am the man of the house and the oldest daughter at the same time. Those sorts of things. I spent a lot of time being like, do I want to be Alana? Or do I want Alana? And the answer was I want to be Alana, and I want to have the freedom to do whatever. Gender's made up and the points don't matter, except they do. And I think we'll have lots to talk about with the gender. All over the place. All over the place. The Fairy Godmother is one of your non-Pierce favorite books. Oh, yes. Remind me off the top of my head. I can see the cover so clearly. Gender gave you a headache, so you showed up in a box and forgot it somewhere. So you shoved it in a box and forgot it somewhere. Yes. I mean, I left. I whip it out when I need to. Otherwise, it has no bearing on what the situation is. But I do genuinely enjoy whipping out gender as needed. Just add water. So, we're so glad. Hello all. We're just we're talking about the things that we're excited about when it comes to the Tortall reread. We are going to be reading Terrier for next week, so please read this and get ready to talk about Terrier next week. We're going to do just like a general overview of Terrier. It's going to be just questions about your favorite themes, what scenes popped out at you. It's just more of that like overview. Let's get our initial thoughts out, and then we'll have some deeper dives into topics that are adjacent to Terrier, but we can talk about any of the books to those topics. That's next week. So every single Wednesday, there's so many of you who joined this week and are now following and are on board. I'm so excited to have you. The lowdown is we do this every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 Central. And I think it's 7. I'm not going to do time conversion in my head. Please look it up, but I would love to have you there. I try to do reminders, but every week we talk about Tamora Pierce books. Some weeks we talk about just one book, like next week we will just be talking about Terrier. But the week after that, we will be talking about justice and policing. And so we can talk about Terrier and any of the other books every Wednesday. Cannot wait for you all to show up and be here. I'm so excited. Do you love Becca? Make sure to hit the screen to give her a heart so she shows she has engagement. Oh, thank you. Yes, the more I get little like recaps of these every time, and every single live that I have, it tells me that I have such an engaged audience because of all of the comments. I get more comments on my live than 99% of other creators my size. And so you really are just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal the way that we all show up for book club. I love all of these comments, love the likes and gifts and everything. I'm so appreciative. It helps to push it out, but mostly I'm just here to talk Tamora Pierce, and everything else is a bonus. But thank you for rooting for that. And Trish, yes, it is Wednesday, every single Wednesday. Yes, please steal the just add water to gender, because that's very much my just add water, gender, just add water, like the little sponge capsules you can get at the dollar store, exactly like that. Or like what was it, that show like H2O or something? If you touch water, you turn into a mermaid. I always need water in order to transform. There's got to be some sort of shower situation that happens. I'm also just a little bit of a fish. All the time. Oh no, Terrier, how George got his chaos heritage. I can't wait to talk about how what shows up in Terrier and in Becca's book shows up with George. And I think that I want to know what his mom would think. Just all of those pieces. The Blue Sword and Hero on the Crown by Robin McKinley are some of your favorite non-Tortall faves. I actually brought Hero and the Crown with me. The books that I brought on my current journey all had to fit in one box, and so I brought all of my Tamora Pierce books and then a handful of other books, and one of the ones that I brought was Hero and the Crown. 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that, Farron. How George got his chaos heritage. Accurate. So accurate. You just bought the book and are listening to the audio. Awesome. Oh, thanks for following. We're so glad you're here. And thank you for sharing the live. Encourage more viewers to share. I so appreciate that. We are winding down today's live, but every single Wednesday we do this. The background will be totally different next week, I promise, because I'm still not in a stable location. But I do think, thanks to Brittany on here, thank you for commenting about the mint for the spiders. I will be trying that because I think the ideal setup is in the space that I have that's overrun with Black Widow spiders. But I thought, what would Daine do? What would Alana do? They would not be scared off by spiders. And I'm not scared of spiders. I'm just very allergic to them. So I'm going to suit up, go in, and build this space. So I am stoked. It'll all look so different. So you can soak in what we have now. But mostly I'm just excited to show up and talk to everybody here. You absolutely love all of her books. You fell in love with them 20 years ago and still reread. Welcome. You are in the right place. I also fell in love with her books about 20 years ago now. And I'm just excited to talk about them with other people. I didn't see anything on TikTok really, no consistent creations about them. There's just such a rich world. And clearly there are tons of people who want to talk about Tamora Pierce and her work. So I'm so thrilled that you all are here. Meredith Ann Pierce's The Dark Angel trilogy, you love and hate because the ending made you so angry. I don't know what it is with Pierce's. There must be if Pierce is in your name, you are a good author. You're a library assistant at the public library and can constantly promote Tamora's books. Doing the Lord's work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm convinced that mentioning Song of the Lioness and Tamora Pierce was one of the reasons why I got a job as bookseller over a decade ago, because the person who was interviewing me was like, "You've heard of those books? They're the best." Isn't one of Alana's fierce spiders, to the point where it's part of her ordeal? Yeah. But she deals with it. And they have the spin rins. I'll need to listen to figure out how to pronounce that correctly. But the immortal spiders, that's a whole other level of things. Alana was your first chapter book. You have so many copies because every time you move, you buy another one. Oh, I love that. What a great tradition. I have these, and then I have the Jody set, the beautifully illustrated ones from when I was younger. And so these are the new ones. I love these books so much. Not sure about Alana, but Kel and the Spinnerins. Yes, those Spinnerins are just... That's one thing I wish there were more fan art about all of the different immortals that we see. There's a bunch of character fan art, but we don't get much about the different immortals. You read Alana's books but Daine is your favorite. Oh, I love that. They're so good. I love Daine's books. I loved I really wanted to be able to speak to animals and to heal them. They're so good. Welcome all. Fabulous. I'm so good. There are so many of you here today. All right. So as we wind down the live, anybody else have any last minute thoughts about Circle of Magic, Tortall, to recap everything, because there are some new people in here. We've just finished doing a Circle of Magic read through in book club. We do book club every week on Wednesday on TikTok Live. I am eventually uploading them to YouTube. I promise they're coming. Some of them are already up there, but I'm uploading more. And so we have the YouTube, we have the Discord. Come join us on Discord. We're talking next Wednesday. We are talking about Becca's book, Terrier because we are starting our chronological read-through of the Tortall series. So we're going to start with Becca's books. It's hefty. I recommend starting now. Bring ideas, thoughts, questions, favorite moments. If you're in the Discord, we have a thread going where there's quotes, questions. People are really, really active in it right now. And so you can hop on there while you're doing the reread. That way you have a group of people to read along with. And then next week we'll come together and we'll talk about Terrier, about Becca, and really kick off this Tortall reread. I'm going to try to go live again tomorrow because I have this set up. And I'm learning how to use Streamlab and other things, so we'll see. So there might be some technical difficulties tomorrow, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try. All right, let me catch up on these comments. You wish you had this skill, but alas, you cannot draw. A bestiary would be so cool. Yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in. I wish I could draw too. That's not my cup of tea. I am creative in so many different ways. And I'm really good at like constructive criticism and critique. I'm very good at precise, detailed help, but I have no hand-eye coordination, especially now with my thumb that I cannot feel most of. I'm relearning how to write at the moment, so art's not in the stars for me at the moment, but I would love to encourage everyone else who is an artist to get on that. Okay, you're rereading, you're looking for characters, magic gods. What else should you be notating for? I would say anything that you're interested in these books. If there's a theme that keeps coming up, make a note of it. If there's a quote you really like or a scene, make a note of it for us to talk about. If you think of something, you're like, oh, is this connected to something in Tortall? Or even Circle of Magic if you really want to get down. Then note it. I think that would be a great one. You're convinced that both Tamora Pierce worlds would be great settings for excellent D&D settings. Yes. And I want to so badly, and we've talked about it so many different times. I've always been D&D adjacent, but I have not participated in a campaign yet. And so it's something that we are talking about in our Discord that we would love to set up. It might not end up being a D&D campaign per se, but I completely agree with you. These worlds, the magic systems, the characters, everything would be absolutely perfect. And so once I get once I get my tech set, and figure out a little bit more, that is something I would really love to pursue, is doing a D&D game that's based in Tortall or in the Circle of Magic world. Right, Aubrey? Like, yes, we've all been eyeballing that. Yeah, yes. Thank you to everyone in the comments. Because of the maps. You're doing types of crimes mentioned moments. Oh, types of crimes mentioned moments that tie into future books. That's the type. That's so interesting. And moments that showcase it as a journal, and moments that just hit different. Aubrey, those are really good categories. I hadn't even thought about like the types of crimes portion of it. The GU RP system, that would be good for creating Tammy's RPGs. These are so good. I think those are all good ideas to look for in the other books. If anybody else has other ideas of what they are really looking for in these books during the reread, please feel free to drop it in the comments. Let me pull up my little list. So I have a list of things that I would love that I'm looking at. So I don't know necessarily how I'm going to mark these quite yet. I have a couple of different annotation systems that I use, but I think I'm going to end up using a combination of them. So here are some of the things I am going to be looking for: death, religion, courage, chivalry, being like the first, the only, maps, politics, patriarchy, justice, policing, language, nature, animals, immortals, wielding power in all of its different forms, I am really curious about the economics, friendships, family, the concept of evil. Because I think that's something that Tamora Pierce wrestles with a lot throughout the books, and the different forms of evil that show up, classism, colonialism, and then I started to kind of break it down into like much larger categories that I could then like group together a little bit more easily. So thinking about relationships and emotions, conflict, politics and society, magic and the divine, world building and culture, and identity and growth are some of the like just keywords, ideas, umbrellas that I'm thinking about, but I haven't quite settled on how I'm going to do it quite yet. Let's see, I'm catching up on these. Some comments. Oh, welcome to the Discord. You have to go to general on types of crimes because you don't have enough tabs, right? Oh, I completely agree. So property, violent theft, trafficking, children's... interesting. Okay. Politics in the mortal realm versus politics in the godly realm. That's a really good idea, too. Like that, navigating the politics. How are they different? Also, like my question is, and this is my real life, too. My real life philosophy on things is I always try to ask, where is the power? And so in this particular scene, this setting, this book, where is the power? What is the power? Where is the power? What's the point? How is this person wielding power? How are they using their privilege? What is this author trying to say about power and its usage? What does it look like to abstain from power? Just those sorts of questions I'm constantly asking myself. Food. Your priorities are straight. Love it. Always food. Always food. Because I do want to do a cook along. And there's a lot of food in Becca's books. And so we'll do some cook along. I'm not a good cook. So we're gonna do a little cook along. We'll have plenty of other things. You really want to try and make a pasty. Yeah. We'll try. If you all are so inspired to make your own Tamora Pierce content, please tag me, DM me, do whatever. I'm happy to repost. I would love to share. My whole point of being here is not to like take up all of the Tamora Pierce space on TikTok. It is to be a point for us as a community to inspire more people to do this, to inspire more of us to talk about these things, to share our experiences. And so if you do make Tamora Pierce content, please, I want to know about it. I'm nosy and I'm excited. And so please, if you do, share it with me. If you see other people who do, I really want more of this. If that's not your speed, but you're on our Discord, please share like the photos. I cannot tell you how happy I was when I saw that other people were already doing food and drinks for the series. So I would love to have you there. So many raisins. I agree. I don't know if all those raisins are going to happen in my cooking, to be honest with you. The raisins might turn into chocolate chips. You think a pasty would look like a lot like a Cornish pasty. Sure to sound, yes. We need a Tortall cookbook. Oh, genius. I love it. Tortall have a big grape industry? I don't know. I'm trying to think. There was another book series I was reading that had a big grape industry. That's why I'm confusion. I would think that would also be like more of for some reason that makes me think of Circle of Magic. Fabulous. All right, y'all. We've been here for almost 2 hours. This is the best. But I want to make sure that we go off into the world. I need to take care of some cats before I hop on the Discord. We have like an after hours book club on the Discord voice chat. And so I'm going to grab a little bit of dinner and take care of the cats, and I will join you all there. But I'm so happy that you all are here this week. This has been awesome. This has been a really great book club. I can't wait to have more of them. Seriously, next week, woo! I'm so excited about it. All right, I'm catching up on these before we go. They talk a lot about wine. Yes, for the grapes. I can totally see it. And I think that would be such an interesting... You all give me so many great video ideas. It would be really interesting to go through the map of Tortall and see like, oh, well... This would be a great area to grow some grapes because of its particular geography. That would be fun. That would be very, very nerdy and intense, but I would not put it past. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Mistress Knoll must get a great deal on raisins because most of her products have them. Yes. This whole grape thing, I think you're onto something. Thanks for following. We're excited you're here. Dried fruit also just takes longer to spoil, so it's cheaper, you think. That makes sense too. So we might do something else. The cartography page calling. Yes. We need you. Your dad has a hobby vineyard. It jumps out. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, if there are those types of things in these books where you make connections or have questions because they pertain to your life, please, if you feel free, share. Like, that's a really cool thing to know, and it makes total sense that you would think about the wine. Pasties are usually made with dried fruit covered in sugar with a little alcohol. Okay, all of those things are fine by me. We'll add it up. Perfect. Okay, so food's definitely happening. We have a lot of fun things to look forward to in our Tortall reread. I'm so excited that everyone else is as excited as I am about it. I cannot thank you all enough for the support and love that you have been giving me on these lives, on TikTok, on Discord, everything, and how much you're supporting each other has been really the best part about all of this. We're here for Tamora Pierce and community. So I'm going to hop off of here. I'm going to go live again every single Wednesday. Absolutely every Wednesday. But I'm going to try to go live again tomorrow because I want to figure out how to stream from my laptop. So we can do things like, I really want to do a Tamora Pierce Sims stream and like build Discipline Cottage or make all of the heroines, those sorts of things. And so I'm trying to figure out, the technology has been my biggest kryptonite at this point in time. I want to expand and do YouTube too, so I want to figure out all of the tech piece. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing a live just to kind of figure it out, figure out some of those tech pieces. But every single Wednesday, we're going to be here on live for book club. And I hope that you all are joining. Oh, and you're in for the Sim stream. Fantastic. Me too. Good. All right, y'all. This has been phenomenal. I am so excited to jump into Tortall. I'm going to be on the Discord voice chat in probably about 20 minutes. I'm going to shovel some food and take care of some cats. And I'm so excited to talk to you more on there. As always, like, please feel free to reach out on TikTok, on Discord. I do what I can. I'm a little frantic all over the place, neurospicy, so I'm trying, and I appreciate everybody's patience with me. This has been a great community. So I hope you all have a lovely night, morning, evening, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you all soon. See you.